In our last YouTube video, we talked about how we believe we are at the precipice of the 2024 alt season and how we believe we're about to go parabolic any day now. However, since our last video, it looks like the alt season has started exclusively to Solana tokens. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 3 picks for Solana tokens, where I think they're going to, where I'm going to take profit. And of course, this is an update on Bitcoin and Solana, so we're going to discuss the news, what's happening in the charts, and also a quick on-chain update. Let's jump into it. Starting off with the news, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler turned up to a CNBC interview the other day, and he basically described the crypto market as a scam ridden with fraud. He basically just said everything he always says. He believes that all cryptocurrencies are securities, etc. In this interview on CNBC, they had a price panel which displayed the cryptocurrency prices, and Solana ended up being one of those tokens they displayed the price on. In other news, Ore Supply, a project which we've been talking about on this channel for the past couple of weeks or so, won the prize for Solana Hackathon, receiving $50,000 in a prize money. This news came out right here. We'll talk about the Ore price a little bit later on. But in terms of the update for Ore, they do have a Twitter space happening at 6 p.m. BST time, which is basically an hour away from when you'll be watching this video. I'm personally going to be attending this Twitter space. Any important information they share on Ore V2, I will be relaying in my next video. And just a quick update from Solana Mobile. They just announced that if you pre-order the Solana Chapter 2 Mobile, within 24 hours, you'll be airdropped the Solana Chapter 2 NFT pre-order token. So as always, pre-order the Solana Chapter 2 Mobile. If you haven't already pre-ordered it, you've already missed out on $700 worth of airdrops just from a $450 phone. There's going to be more airdrops, don't miss out. Now, before we get into the TA, smash the like button, leave a comment if you've enjoyed the video so far to help out the algo. Now, let's provide a super quick update on the TA. It's not going to be as long as normal because yesterday we did a 12-minute TA update and not an awful lot has changed, but in the higher time frames on the weekly, we're still experiencing this consolidation around the previous all-time highs, which is very healthy. The longest this consolidation has lasted was in 2017, where after making a new all-time high, we rotated around the all-time high for about 10 weeks before blasting to the upside. We're on that 10th week right now, so I think we're going to go up very, very soon. On the daily time frame for Bitcoin, you can see yesterday we had that nice push up to the upside, taking a lot of liquidations in the market. However, at the end of the day, we came back down. However, we bounced on support of the previous resistance flip support of the falling wedge formation. So we're still looking very, very healthy in this breakout trajectory for Bitcoin. Slightly lower time frames for Bitcoin, you can still see we are trading around this very important box, which we discussed in the previous video. Previous resistance, flipped as support, held as support, 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 until it was flipped as resistance. We're currently retesting this important zone, and this zone is also the VPVR, where we've spent the most amount of time trading. So getting above this level right here at 64,500 is very, very important. If we do manage to get above this POC, point of control, and move to the next point of control, that's going to send Bitcoin to 67,000, which is also an area of previous resistance. Now, why that's very important is because Bitcoin's currently trading around about 64,000 approximately. If Bitcoin moves up about $1,000 to 65,000 on the liquidation map, we're going to take back about 1.5 billion worth of liquidations in short positions, which are going to force to cover, buy back their positions, and potentially further cause a short squeeze up to 66,000, liquidating 3 billion positions. If Bitcoin starts squeezing all these shorts out of the market up to 72,000, it can reclaim $10 billion worth of short liquidity. These are a few of the reasons why I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin right now. Now, in terms of Solana, in the higher time frames, we're still in that exact trajectory we've been talking about, comparing Solana to Ethereum's previous cycle. If we continue on this trajectory, Solana could be $870 to $1,300 before the end of the cycle. And in the lower time frames, we are outperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been a little bit up and down. Solana is just up and up. And we are still facilitating this major V-shaped reversal from the previous dip. Now, while this could be a V-shaped reversal, you can also see this could potentially be a W formation. And if this does end up being a W and we break out to the upside of this, we've got a price target all the way up here at $218, eclipsing the previous high. All in all, from my previous video, not an awful lot to update for Bitcoin and Solana. We're having some retests, we're continuing with the upwards trajectory, still very bullish on the two of them. Now let's get to the main topic of today's video, and that's going to be the alt season. Like we said yesterday, we do believe we are at the precipice of a new alt season, and here are my top 3 Solana picks for this alt run. These are all CHONKY and VCAT. Veterans of the channel would have heard me talking about these many times. Now, this is not a fundamentals video. I'm not going to give you a massive breakdown of why I've picked each and every one of these. However, if you're new to the channel, you might be wondering why I've picked them. I've made 2 videos covering these before. The main one is going to be the top 16 picks to 100x. In this video, I discussed all CHONKY and VCAT and why individually I've picked each and every single one of them. If you're new to the channel, I'll link that down below so you can check that out. I've also made a more detailed video, Is OR the next Bitcoin on Solana, which gives everything about the fundamentals of OR. If you're watching this video now, I'm going to assume you're a veteran and you don't need to hear all of that again. So let's just talk about the TA. From a TA perspective, OR is currently at $250 and a 3 million market cap. Since it's won the Solana Hackathon, it did a 170% rally from $125. The news came out and then it went all the way up to $340, and it's still holding very strong with a lot of new eyes on OR supply. Now, OR is going to be doing a Twitter space in about 1 hour's time, and they're going to talk a lot about OR v2 and potentially the future tokenomics. I'm going to assume that they're going to improve the tokenomics coming into OR v2 and then remove immutability to ensure that the OR supply is much lower in the v2 contract than the v1 contract. So where do I think OR is going to next? If we come over to the daily time frame, you can see the next important level of resistance to keep your eyes on is going to be $470, but basically the $500 psychological level. Now, where am I personally going to be looking to taking some profit on OR? I don't think it's far-fetched to say if OR does very well, if they continue their user base and adoption and continue the trajectory they're on after winning the hackathon, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that OR could go to a 100 million market cap, being that it's the first proof of work token on Solana, which is a very interesting concept. OR's got a lot going for it, and I've explained why in these previous videos over here, but let's just say I think OR's going to 100 million market cap this cycle. That would put the OR price round about $8,000, including the supply issuances that are going to be coming onto OR v2. So OR is one of those projects, in my opinion, which is all for nothing. I've got my bags packed. If it goes to $5,000, I'll start taking some profit, which, by the way, is only just above the previous all-time high. So it's definitely possible. We've seen it before. If OR goes to around about, $8,000, $9,000, I'm going to be selling the majority of my bags. But I think just because this is an interesting project, I might always just keep a few tokens in my Vault wallet just to kind of see how it does in the future. Anyway, let's move on to my second pick. That's going to be CHONKY. CHONKY has definitely been building. Over on their Twitter, they've now got their yellow organization badge, and all over my timeline, I'm seeing the merch, including the plushies, pop up all over the Solana Twitter. So I think this is going to continue to grow, and I really think conservatively within the next month or two that CHONKY could push up to a 100 million market cap, being about a 6.5x from where we are at this moment in time. That would be a 650% move, or a 7.5x from where we are at this moment in time. CHONKY as well is going to be kind of one of those meme coins where it's all for nothing for me. I'm going to watch this go to hundreds of millions in market cap, or I'm going to watch it go to zero. This is my thesis with OR, CHONKY, and VCAT. These are all very good projects in my opinion. It only takes one of them to do a 3x. And then the other two can go to zero and you've still got your initial position. That's the way I look at these. It doesn't matter if OR goes to zero and CHONKY goes to zero, but VCAT does a 10x. And it doesn't matter if VCAT goes to zero and OR goes to zero if CHONKY goes to a 200 million market cap, because at the end of the day, you're going to be left with a lot more money than you invested in all of these projects to begin with. That's the nature of meme coins. You might pick 10, 8 of them might rug, but 2 of them might go up 20x, 50x, and you're still massively up. So those are my thoughts on CHONKY. Now for VCAT, I do actually have a short-term price target in mind, and that's only because I went irresponsibly long on this most recent dip round about $2. This is going to be $25. This is a new breakout to a new all-time high. Previous all-time high was at $22. If I sell maybe about 10 to 20% of my position when it hits $25, this is going to pay for my yearly rent. This is going to pay for my next couple of holidays or so. So just because I've already got so much in VCAT, taking a little bit off the top at $25 makes a lot of sense. However, Where I'm really targeting right now for VCAT is $100, which would put the market cap at around about 110 million. Considering how popular this is growing at this moment in time, I definitely think that it is very, very possible. In terms of the TA on the daily time frame since our last video, we did almost a 2x of this W-shaped breakout. The price target was all the way up at $9.30. We came up to as high as about $8.80. All in all, this is another one of those projects which I think is going to absolutely tear. I gave you this project as one of my top 3 picks in this video over here. And as you can see, since when I told you to buy, it was at $2.10 and it went up to as high as $8.80 in the past 24 hours or so. Very bullish on VCAT, very bullish on CHONKY, and I'm very bullish on OR. Let's now provide a quick on-chain update for Bitcoin, and I want to talk about 3 cool metrics. One of the most powerful ones and a reliable indicator to spot local Bitcoin bottoms is going to be the Bitcoin short-term holder spot buyer capitulation signal. This will show you when short-term holders sell for a significant loss, which historically normally always marks the bottom. In the most recent dip to the downside for Bitcoin, marking the local bottom, you can see this signal started to flash. So looking on-chain at the short-term holders, this is a very bullish signal. If we look at the crypto asset sentiment index, this is one that I like to look at. It comprises of over 15 different indicators, including on-chain flows, positioning, sentiment, and derivative data. This shows you that crypto sentiment right now, just like the fear and greed index, is quite fearful at these levels. Buy the fear, sell the greed. And for the long-term holders, they are not selling at this moment in time. The recent capitulation that we saw was pretty much all from short-term holders. If we look at the Bitcoin value days destroyed multiple, you can see where the majority of long-term holders start to take selling positions. Historically, when this signal has initially flashed into red in a bull run, you've seen 3 total tops before the bull run top was in. Back in the 2017 bull run, you can see the first signal for the top was here, where they started selling into the top of peak prices. Then we had a second top and a third top before that was the bull run top, because they weren't interested in selling throughout these small rallies. They were only interested in selling at the peaks. Coming into the 2021 bull run, you can see this flashed once right here, where they started selling in new all-time highs. This flashed twice when we started pushing into the second peak of the second all-time high. It didn't actually flash by the time we hit the third all-time high. This is probably why it was a double top, because there just wasn't enough interest in volume. Now coming into this cycle for 2024, long-term holders have already taken their first profit positions, pushing into the new all-time high. They're not going to be selling around these levels that we're currently at right now. They need much higher price targets to be convinced to sell their longer-term bags. And in my opinion, looking at our final chart today for Bitcoin, this is where I think the majority of people are going to offboard their assets between 100 and 120,000 when we reach the top of this channel, and then we probably move into the next bear market cycle before obviously the next bull one. So that's all I've got for today, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to smash like on the way out. As always, the Actionables, make sure to pre-order the Solana Chapter 2 mobile if you haven't already. If you haven't got one already, you're going to miss out on so many airdrops. Start earning passive income on your computer by mining with GetGrass. And check out my most recent video earlier today with a new Solana project which I am co-founding. Join the Discord now and you'll be able to get an airdrop when the token is ready. I'll leave the links for all of that down below. Smash like on the way out. See you in the next one. Peace.